Let's start with the AFLW season opener has been announced. So we still don't have a fixture, even though pre-season starts next week officially with the new inductees coming in. But the season opener will be August 14th, so that's round 23 of the men's. So the men's won't have any footy on the Thursday night to give the women's game clean air. They've moved it forward from that pre-season bye because there's going to be now 12 rounds in the AFLW season. We love that. It's going to be Carlton Collingwood, which has had a very mixed reaction. The traditional opener, yeah? Well, it is the traditional opener because it was the very first one. So it was the 2017 inaugural opener, that iconic lockout, 24,000 people at Princes Park. Amazing. But there's an argument that, well, Melbourne Bulldogs were actually the first pioneers, and they should be honoured. And then Collingwood, I mean, they won one game last year, and Carlton won 4 games last year. And if this is the game that you're going to have the most eyes on to start the season, and we know that AFLW is kind of struggling in the public sphere for legitimacy, in men's spaces that the AFL are trying to crack into, would you not then put on the best spectacle that you could? Why don't you just make tradition around making it the grand final rematch or something like that? There is some people that obviously do like the romance element of, okay, well, let's do what we did before. Paddy's given me a thumbs up. He's all keen for that idea. There's years when Carlton and Richmond both suck as well, and 100%. Yes, I don't agree with the argument of they're uncompetitive, so don't put it on. But I do agree with the argument that don't force men's rivalries in the women's space when the women's space is already developing their own organic rivalries that have genuine venom and spite there. Like, there are some teams that I'm love to see go head to head more than. Please tell me, what do you think's the best rivalry in the W? Oh, I mean, Brisbane, Hawthorn is one. I remember that got very angry last year. I remember all the details of that. And then there's some rivalries that there's just been so many teams that have had so many players switch between them. And because you've got the added factor in AFLW of a lot of interpersonal relationships within the league. So it just adds, and it's just the fans know this. And the fans get so excited about W, and then they just I just constantly see them feel so disheartened and disappointed when the AFL bring out news that feels like they're not actually listening to what the fans are telling them. And I sympathise and I empathise with that. Do you think there should be a separate head of AFLW? 100%. Because even just someone was, I was chatting to someone online who is a big NRLW watcher, saying just like comparing the two and the NRLW feeling like its own product and even like their women's state of origin popping off, and it feels like they've done such a good job of it being its own separate product, where the AFLW, even in announcing the season opener, it has to fit in around the men's game, and I just don't see it being long-term successful if it just constantly has to fit in around the men's game and just constantly try and pull men's fans over. When we saw with the Matildas and the Women's World Cup, people that like women's footy are different. Like, some like both, but there's a massive group of people who like women's footy, then you should be targeting them. Like, that's like, if you go to an AFLW game and walk around, it looks very different atmospheric wise, and the people that you meet are very different to a men's game. Stop targeting people. Yeah, they've started to build out the narratives and double down on the narratives. We found that with Donna as well, is start to engage with what the fans want as opposed to just sort of setting what you do, and being reactive is, I think, reactive is the right way to go about building something for sure. Also, we're 10 years in now. Yes, it's the 10th season. Yeah. But it's 10. Not 10 years because they had 2 seasons in 1 year. Which year was that? 2022. The year Essendon, Hawthorn and Sydney and Port Adelaide came in. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I do feel a little bit like, okay, so they announced the season opener and there's all of this kind of negativity, which is, like, fair, and, like, there's so much love for between AFLW fans and women's footy. But I am personally just trying to also just be, like, so excited. We're 99 days away. That's exciting. Yeah. Sarah Burt stole from me. Well, us. Sarah Burt, a reporter in AFLW and other sports as well. But we once did the TikTok where it's the Real Housewives or something and going, okay, you missed us, we're back. No, we invented guys, that. We're back. Did you miss us? We invented that, yeah? Yeah, we invented that from Kim Kardashian. Everyone steals from us. I don't even know. It might be Love Island. Who knows? Everyone steals from us. I'll get Greg in to deal with it. Sort it out. Don't worry. Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting.
August is still a long time away. Are they starting pre-season now?
Yeah, without a fixture, which is also just like...
Where'd that fixture at?
The NRLW person was just like, yeah, we knew our fixture back in November. I was like, well, that's nice.